Thank you for joining us. I'm Naiba Reynoso. Ahead, contract tracers are working hard to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19. And those across LA County experiencing homelessness are finding a new home for the holidays. But first, Aikido Labs is one of Los Angeles County's Technology Innovation Challenge winners. They've put life-saving technology into the hands of outreach workers with the HotSpot app.
Good morning. Good morning, this is Lhasa. Hi, good morning, this is Lhasa. We have sandwiches for you.
The thing that makes Los Angeles County a little bit different is we always merge innovation with old-fashioned boots on the ground. And so when COVID-19 came to our shores, we were able to build upon that experience and do exactly the same thing at a scale that we've never been able to do.
And we needed every tool at our disposal to stand up to this pandemic.
We have data systems in place, but they're not designed to be tracking infectious diseases. And so we had no mechanism to even figure out how to ask people if they have symptoms and to log it and then to monitor it.
Aikido Labs showed up at the right time with the right stuff.
When it comes to using technology to support and solve for social and health issues, you always need those boots on the ground and the human-to-human interaction. But adding technology into the mix and leveraging technology can really mean augmenting that human interaction.
Cool. So you've been tested?
No.
The HotSpot app helps us by keeping track of our clients and to track their symptoms, underlying health issues, and it gives a demographic of where they are.
So every morning, we're able to look at the recent data, and we have a map in front of us where it's color-coded, and we can actually see potential hotspots where we can deploy resources as quickly as possible.
Without these tools, without the expertise and technological interventions, we would be even more challenged than we are.
I think that people would be surprised that an institution as large as LA County is capable of applying technology and innovation to some of their most complex challenges. There's real willingness and commitment to exploring what technology can do for this space.
So using the HotSpot app helps prevent community spread. We were able to see where people needed to be tested, see where people needed to be isolated, see where people needed to be offered quarantine. This app really changed the game.
What we've seen is that those who are unsheltered actually have had lower rates of COVID-19 infection. And I know it's made quite an impact on keeping people safe.
We think about high tech and high touch. That's what's required in order to address the homeless crisis. Not one or the other, but both.
We all needed each other during this COVID-19 pandemic. This is something that none of us have lived through before.
Together, we were able to move mountains, and we didn't wait around to find innovation, to find solutions, because the stakes were far too high.
LA County contact tracers are an integral part in helping stop the spread of COVID-19. Take a look at how their efforts are saving lives during the pandemic.
So when someone is exposed to COVID-19, information is gathered from them by either the clinic they go to, the nurses who help them, the testing facility, and that information is then given to the Department of Public Health.
That positive test result lands in a database that public health can then use to contact individuals with that positive test. Our public health department makes those phone calls and tries to track down the individuals and try to identify who they have had contact with. Because they have an infection, we want to make sure that we are able to identify the people that they have been in contact with so that they can get tested and take the appropriate precautions that they need to protect their loved ones.
There's a sort of social stigma associated with COVID-19. Say I'm currently positive and I was around my friend a couple of days ago. It's just like I could be looked at as I did something wrong. So now I have COVID and I'm risking the lives of everyone else. Breaking through that kind of stigma has been a little difficult when it comes to the tracing aspect of it.
So digital contact tracing is a part of a bigger contact tracing puzzle. It isn't the full contact tracing effort that's run by public health, and it doesn't replace it in any way. It is the use of technology to try to speed the time through which an individual who has a positive test result can notify their contacts and have their contacts then take appropriate precautions, including isolating, avoiding contact with others, getting tested, or those types of things to try to reduce transmission of the infection.
Every call that we have, that we do, we are required to make sure that they know that their information won't be shared with anyone outside of the Department of Public Health. But the Department of Public Health gathers that information so that we can track the spread of the disease, but we will not give out anyone's personal information.
If I had a positive COVID test and I knew that I could notify the people that I've been in contact with, many of whom maybe live with me, work with me, are in my community, and I could notify them immediately of that positive result without it specifically being tied back to me, I don't know why I wouldn't, right? I think it's an opportunity to help the people that I care about be notified of this important information so they can take the appropriate actions. And not only is it just good for society and our communities, the communities in which we work, the communities in which we live, but it directly impacts the people we love. So.
LaToya Jones is one of the many people who have experienced homelessness. But thanks to the help of the Los Angeles County Development Authority, she and her 2 children now have a home for the holidays.
6 years ago, I was living in motels, shelters, different programs for about almost 5.5 years, almost 6. I have 2 children, one daughter, her name is Unique Jackson, and King James, he just turned 1 December 10th. I hung in there, definitely for my kids. That's what kept me going, being homeless and looking back at my kids and saying, it's gonna be okay. This is not forever. This is not where our life ends. Us going through that time had my mind going, you know what I mean? I had to be mentally strong and also physically strong. It was a rough time. It definitely was a rough time. In situations like that, you definitely gotta be strong.
LaToya Jones was referred to us through the Department of Health Services in order to receive her voucher. And this is how she received her housing assistance. Once we were able to determine her eligible, she received a voucher which allowed her to find a landlord willing to rent a unit to her. And she did so within 5 business days. And while she was going through the housing process with us, she was able to receive additional assistance through our homeless incentive program, which provided assistance with move-in costs.
When we got the call about getting her home, I was so excited. Beyond, okay? Me and my daughter was so excited, as words can't explain. I didn't just get a home through Section 8, I also have relationships that I built with everyone, in this time of need. When we needed, someone, there is people that are actually there to help. You just have to reach out and go look and find.
From not having a home to having my own room is just so amazing.
LaToya Jones' story is so heartwarming, and because we know that she came from a place where she needed the assistance, and the health agencies and the LACDA came together to provide that that home for her and her family.
When I think about this place that's mine, it makes me tickle. It does. It really enlightens my soul. But I'm straightening up and I'm flying right and I'm doing everything I need to do as a mother. And it's wonderful. It is wonderful to have a home to do that in.
The annual holiday celebration at the Carmelitos Housing Project helps to ring in the joy of this year's holiday season.
Merry Christmas! Today we're doing our annual holiday event along with a food giveaway. Normally we have this huge holiday event inside our community center where we decorate and we wrap all the gifts.
It's very stressful for me and my kids because we got to stay in the house. But we come down here and they give us hope. Because it's sad to see when you can't feed your kids. It's really stressful.
The families are getting a bag full of food from Cottonwood Church. It has non-perishable items as well as, I believe, ham and for their Christmas meal. And also they're getting a gift for their kids. They're getting stuffed animals, Hot Wheels, and a grocery gift card.
This really helps us a lot. And I want to thank all of you guys for doing all this for us.
I would like to wish everybody a happy holidays on this stressful pandemic month. Keep God in your prayer, and thank you.
Meet Ciro Murgueitio. He's a 37-year-old registered nurse who contracted COVID-19, but the virus didn't stop there. It spread to his young family.
My name is Ciro Murgueitio. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm recovering from COVID-19. I went to work, and I had a temperature of 99 degrees, and for me, I would consider that elevated. So that's what triggered me to go get tested. I got really bad sharp pain, and that's when I went to the hospital, and that's when they found out that I had really bad pneumonia. My oxygen levels had dropped into in the 80s. When I found out, I gave it to my family. I felt like I let them down. I let myself down first because I'm supposed to be their protector. I have twins. The little twin, she got hit pretty hard. My darkest moment that I experienced is knowing that I could endanger my kids and potentially lose one or all of them or my whole family. You are a carrier of COVID-19 and you give it to them. You're spreading it to your mom, your grandparents. Those are the people that are in danger.
Thanks for joining us. Before we go, say hello to Catherine Clay. She's a community health worker at the Peer Resource Center for the Department of Mental Health. See how she's making a difference as part of Project Roomkey. We'll see you next time on LA County Close Up.
Hello, I'm Catherine Clay. I'm a community health worker here at the Peer Resource Center for the Department of Mental Health. I'm the system navigator here. And so it's my job to be able to be like the specialist on providing them with the resources that they need to get back on track. So we get to meet people where they're at. I go out to Project Roomkey and we take them these items and then we're able to listen and engage with them on what is it that they really need. I believe the impact on our work is to build a trust and a rapport with the community, to let the community know that there are people that have been in those exact situations and have compassion. We're gonna go on the journey with them to help them achieve whatever their goal is. And so I really believe like that's the meat and the core of who we are here at the Peer Resource Center. We build the trust of the community and then we go with them on this journey of helping them achieve a higher level of life.